Hey guys, Dieter Melhorn here. If you're looking at circle hooks, there's a couple of things you'll come across when you run into them. One of them is going to be whether or not it's an octopus hook. All an octopus hook means is that this eye right here, this little loop, the little thing you run your fishing line through up here, it is bent. It is bent. It is not in line with the shank of the hook. That's the first thing you're going to run into. I prefer this type of a circle hook simply because it makes snelling easier, and I just like the way the hook is presented when you snell it with the octopus style eye on it. The other thing you're going to see a lot with circle hooks is how big the gap is. Now, these are Gamakatsu octopus circle hooks. These were the ones I started out fishing with back when I started. There's other ones out there now. A lot of local distributors, U.S. distributors, people in the catfish market are selling them. Catfish Pro has their own brand that I've used that look exactly the same as these. And Hooker's Terminal Tackle over in Tennessee, they sell them also. So a lot of different variations out there. But the thing I look for in any circle hook I look at is how wide that gap is. Any of you guys like me that fish with some bigger baits, for fish like catfish that have, well, a pretty big mouth, sometimes you're going to get them in that lippy section, that outer section there. I think that helps. I just like having the extra room there to roll that hook. 90% of the time, that hook is going to the corner of the mouth as it's designed to, and really the gap doesn't matter, but I like having a bigger gap. So it's one thing to look at. The other thing you will encounter is whether it's an inline hook or if it has an offset point. This hook right here is inline, which basically that means, and I'll try to show you this, the tip, the point, is in line with the shank of the hook. It's basically straight. It is, everything is in line there. That's why it's called an inline circle hook. These hooks are a lot less likely to deep throat hook a fish, any type of fish. Now, some of the hooks, and this is a very big Gamakatsu 12-aught hook, is offset. If you look at that point, it is not in line with the shank of the hook. Some different brands call this something different, but the bottom line is that tip is slightly out of alignment with the shank. I'll put this smaller 8-aught up. Maybe you can see that. It may show up better from above. What this hook does with that offset generally will give you a little bit better hookup ratio because it can hook the fish deeper into the mouth. This inline circle hook, in some situations, this offset circle hook is not a tournament legal hook in some of the billfish tournaments where they're catch and release, whereas this inline is. This is a tournament legal hook in almost every situation. Now, if you're just out fun fishing, it really doesn't matter which one you use. If you're like me and you're releasing 95% of the fish, the inline hook is probably a better way to go because you're less likely to hook that fish down deep in the throat. Whereas this offset hook, it probably ups your chances of hooking into a fish. So that decision is up to you, but these are two different size hooks, two different types of circle hooks, basically doing the same thing. This one does have an outside barb. I believe Gamakatsu calls this an out barb. Something new they got out. And this is your traditional hook. Just for reference, guys, this is a 12-aught hook here. Okay, this thing is huge. It has the out barb. This is an 8-aught hook. This is like the biggest hook I normally use. And look at that. It will fit inside of that 12-aught. So this one, the big 12, if you're using some really, really, really big baits, that's the kind of hook you need to be using. But I'm going to use it this fall on some flathead fishing to try it out and hooking some really, really big baits, maybe some double hook rigs, but most of the time that 8-aught's all you need. But that's kind of a quick little lesson on circle hooks and kind of what you're looking at with them and what you can expect when you start looking across the shelves. There's a lot of choices out there, guys, a lot of different stuff. The good news is they'll all catch fish.